Here with us this morning, guys, Mr. Elvis Harrigan here with us this morning. Good morning, Elvis. How you doing?
Good morning. I alive.
All right. Also got Mr. Christian Granham. Good morning, Christian.
Morning, super morning, guys.
And we got the one and only King Verse in the building.
Boom, bam. What we saying? Morning.
All right. So, the three of you are here with us this morning, and we're going to be talking about adulting. Adulting. How do you pronounce it?
Adulting.
Just like that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, tell us a little bit about adulting and what is this all about? Because this is something new. I think this is your brainchild, Elvis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Something I've been sitting on for a little bit, maybe a year, almost 2 years. Mm-hmm. Technically, it just came about because, I have a lot of friends, and sometimes we just have conversation, and one thing that keeps on coming up is, adulting is ghetto, adulting is rough, adulting is this, adulting in that. You hear it online as well. So that was one of the light bulbs for me. And just being able to connect with people on that level and just hear different perspectives, and whether you learn something or just get a different perspective on life, it's mostly helpful for me, helpful for them too, because we bounce off each other.
Okay. It's kind of a little like therapeutic for you then.
Yeah, for me especially, because, adult life, you never really was taught how to navigate it.
Yeah.
Not everybody then, some people better than others. So I decided, maybe it would be good to document these things, and not only have private conversations, but you could be able to help somebody that just listening and don't have much to say either.
Yeah.
So that was mainly the idea behind adulting.
Yeah. All right. So basically, it's a podcast.
It's a podcast
where people could sit down, listen to, watch you guys as well. And I think the episode 4 came out yesterday or something. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Dropped yesterday. Yeah. So you have 4 episodes right now.
4 episodes.
What are the different topics that you guys discuss? Like, what do you get into?
Mainly life, just life topics. The last one was gender roles in society
and toxicity and relationships.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the first episodes were mainly just introductions, me introducing who would be part of the crew.
Right.
And in that too, I got into a little bit of my past or things that triggered me in my youth. And so stuff like that.
Okay. All right. Interesting. So you guys can check it out. It's Adulting. You can check it out on Facebook. Aduhlting. And you have 2 other guests with you, which is a Christian and King Verse. What made you decide to get these guys on the podcast?
So for Christian, I don't know Christian for a whole heap of years, but from the time we met, we clicked really good. We connected really good.
There's the ball in the bed.
The ball in the bed.
Yeah. We the go barber and pay full price for ball heads. Yeah. That probably was one of our first topics.
I gotta go.
Right. But nah, man, just through flag football and I guess acquaintances or friends to friends, me and Christian connected and just having conversation with him. It was different than conversations I would have with others. So with that, I knew I was able to have a different perspective from Christian in regards to whatever the topic is, whether it's, I don't do much sports talk, because they man heavy in that.
Right.
But just exploring ideas or just getting advice, I know I could have turned to Christian and get a complete different view from what I seen, and maybe a little more real than what I would be telling myself.
Okay.
And then Verse, we go way back.
Because he don't have a bald head or a beard. But I'm sure you saw something in him that made you guys connect.
So for Verse, we go way back. And I think the most time I spent around Verse was during our time with Calaboom.
Okay.
When we went to France, we had to share rooms and smell people fart.
Whoa.
But
I'm sure that was a trigger for you, right?
But I mean, through that time, I get to recognize that me and Verse have a lot of similarities in the way the spaces that we grew up in. I wasn't for the haters, by the way. But yeah, just I know me and Verse could connect on that level as well. When it comes to the streets, I guess being street smart and then his transition too is inspiring to me.
Yeah,
Definitely.
And seeing a lot of the different posts he has on Instagram, Facebook, a lot of the videos that he posted and thing, I was able to embrace that because I myself going through a change in my life.
So you related to it some type of
yeah. I adulting as well through his stuff, So for that reason, Verse was the right person, and he mashing it up self.
Yeah. So the three of you guys got together and you started this whole new podcast called Adulting.
Yeah.
So Christian, when you got the call and said, "Listen, I have this podcast, I have this idea, I want you on board," what did you think when Elvis gave you that call?
So from the beginning when he was thinking about it, he told me, right? And initially he didn't want to be front facing, right? And
Right, because he's usually behind the camera. Now this time he's in front.
And I told him that you have to be, right? Because this journey that he's on, that he just mentioned, like I think it'll be beneficial for just not, because I can't express what you want, right? So I think it's very necessary for you to be in front of the camera as well, expressing yourself. So for me, I was always supportive of the idea, and also me having a previous podcast. For me it was a natural, and then I worked with Verse on International Men's Day a few times, and we've done things together. So for me, the dynamics was going to be very interesting because Verse is also on his own journey, right? And he's more vulnerable than myself and Elvis. So you see that in the conversation, right? Especially in the last episode where we spoke about toxicity and gender roles. Verse was very open with his relationship, right? And that also gives a perspective to people watching, because for me, my answers are always very thought out, right? So
very logical.
So you'll get a very pragmatic answer from me that might resonate with somebody, and then you get Verse's perspective that will resonate with somebody else, and you get Elvis's perspective that resonates with, and then I think you get like a complete picture from a male perspective, right? Because a lot of the feedback that we've been getting since we started was like, when are you going to bring on a female to... But I think, for me personally, I think it's important for men to get out their point of view first, and then women could join on to the conversation after, because...
and you want people to understand what the podcast is all about. It's not a men versus woman type of thing. You want to share your experiences so women can also understand, and then join the conversation and see, okay, I understand where your point is coming from, and this is what women think, and like that. And
then exactly that, super. And then we carry on the conversation, and that's exactly why we're doing the live event. So it's going to be a very interactive event, and there, we'll get the female perspective on, okay, well, I understand where you're coming from as a male, but this is where we're coming from a female point of view, and then those things we could reconcile these conversations, right, in an environment that is very nice. I think it's going to be.
You gotta dress up nice.
Chic.
Chic.
Urban chic.
We'll talk more about the event in just a bit.
Sorry.
But first, let's get to Verse, who I know he has been very, very open about his life, his transformation, his journey. Especially recently, everyone knows the relationship between him and his dad. He's talked about it numerous times, and now he went even deeper when he was actually with his dad on a trip, and it was like the two of them was just there. and they spoke, they opened up, he documented it and everything. He showed his vulnerability. So first, for you, when Elvis gave you that call, and then you now being, like Elvis said, from the streets, it's very difficult for a street man to basically show his feelings. Definitely. And you have showed that, listen, it can be done, and you still have that respect. Nobody looks down on you, nobody uses it to their advantage against you, but to show that you could be from the streets, you could be from a humble home, you could be from wherever, but you can let people know what your feelings are, and you're still respected amongst everyone.
Yeah, man, indeed. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just human, and we all go through different things and have different experiences. That's really what it is, When he gave me the call, from the jump, I said, yo, whatever you need, man, whatever, if you need me to be a guest, whatever. And I, next thing you know, he said, okay, we ready. And, came down the hill and we rock and roll. For me, it's just about the message to get out there. Like I said, we all come from different environments, grew up in different circumstances, and as the podcast name, Adulting, we're trying to maneuver through this life in the best, form that we can. Yeah. And to understand each other, to understand different perspectives, and to just get that insight and to have a joyous, happy, comfortable life, because a lot of times, a lot of things are mental. We put these mental blockages in our head. We fight one another when, a simple conversation could solve a lot of issues. So, really the podcast for me is another angle to just, get a message out there. Just try to help somebody. You never know who's listening. Like Elvis mentioned, some people that might not be as vocal, but can get the message and say, aha, and then you never know. Yeah.
And how was that trip with your dad recently? Because a lot of people look at it and be like, why doesn't Verse just let it go? Forgive, forget. But that was part of what this series was about. Basically, you showing that, listen, I've let go, I've forgiven my father. Yeah.
For me, it's it sounds weird, right? But it's a higher calling, if you want to say. That's how I the position I'm in to angle and look at things, right, from a higher calling. And I've gotten a lot of people that come up to me and say, yo, that helped me and that makes me think that I need to reconcile, that I need to X, Y, Z. And for me, that's what it's about. You know what I mean? If I'm the vessel to get the message out to inspire somebody, then it is what it is. You know what I mean? And sometimes we just have to accept and embrace the role that we're given in life, instead of running from it. And a lot of things I let go. But again, it's just to pay it forward. That's really what it is.
That's what the main message, the main thing of this
it's paying it forward because, somebody was inspired to now have a conversation, whether it is a parent to a son or a daughter or vice versa, that you could say, oh, this baggage has been with me all along, and I saw somebody that went through it and they showed the vulnerability, etc., and they inspire me now to get the courage to have this conversation with you.
Even if it's a conversation amongst friends or amongst baby mamas or exes or whatever. You need that closure,
Because listen, a lot of things we hold on to, and like, to be honest with you, like, in my head, I had forgiven my dad for a lot of things from way back when I had my son, right? But again, the story is to, just like, for example, I could sit down and tell you 1,000 street stories, right? By how I survived, That would inspire a young man now to want to pick up a gun and run in the streets, right?
Right.
I'm not going to do that. Because what I'm going to do? Keep adding to the crime, keep adding to the population in prison and stuff like that. That make no sense. No, you know what? Let me help you try break barriers and get over the hump with certain relationships that you wish were mended, etc., etc. And it goes from relationships to, from partner relationships to family relationships, X, Y, Z. So the trip itself, also revealed that, okay, from a distance, we good. Me and him, we good from a distance. But then he still would do certain things that would bring me back to a certain place, and I'd be like, oh, I need to fix this. But again, that was God. That was God saying, you need to go, this is what I'm going to do for you. Bam, 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 bam. And I sit down there and I just pray. You know what I mean? Pray and meditate. I'm heavy into that these days. And I pray and meditate till it reached a point, like the first few days was difficult as heck. You know what I mean? And then after that, it got easier. And my dad, even though in his state, in the state that he's in, he would still bust some bad words. I mean, he would still do some things. I'd be like, boy. And then I was like, nah, this is your lesson. And we don't understand certain things. You'll keep facing the same challenges until you learn to react differently, until you learn the lesson. You know what I mean? Your mother used to beat your backside until you learn. When you learn, then she stop beating you, right? And that's life. With everything in life, with everything, you'll forever run into financial problems because you keep the same habits. You'll forever run into problems in your relationship because you keep cheating, you keep lying, you keep XYZ. Right. And that was God. That was God. And I said, okay, now I deal with you. And then coming off of that, when I showed the video, I documented it. because I have a bigger purpose for it, because I have a whole documentary, and it's not about, bashing anybody, because my dad is a whole person that went through his life, had his circumstances, had his traumas. I just met the parent. We all only meet our parent. You only knew mommy. You only knew daddy. But daddy had a name and had a life. Mommy had a name, had a life. You know what I mean? And that's what you got to look at people from that perspective. Sometimes even in relationships, you'll find you with your girlfriend, and you just know her. My girlfriend. That's all you know. But don't forget, take the time to learn about that person.
Yeah, before she was your girlfriend.
She was a baby. She crawled, she walked, she falls, she had heartbreaks, everything, and that's who you getting. You know what I mean? And then you can better understand people and then stop judging them just from what they're in front of you as. You know what I mean? And that's the whole journey of it. So for me, it's just paying it forward.
Nice. So let's talk about the event. So it's going down Sunday, October 6th, right?
Yes,
sir. So tell me a little bit about it and what we can expect at this event. Like you mentioned before, you want people to come out dressed Caribbean chic, you said?
No,
urban chic. Urban chic, okay.
Yeah, so I guess you got to get a little creative with your styling. I don't get creative with styling at all.
You just put on clothes and...
That's rough for me. I'm going to try to look as good as I can, and that's all I could do. But basically, dress up nice, make yourself feel good, make yourself look good. Come out, interact with some people that you know, some people that you don't know, get familiar with the different faces. We're going to have some cocktails, we're going to have some snacks and everything. We're going to do some interactive games, and we also going to go into conversation. We're going to get serious with it too.
Okay.
And it's just about, a Sunday afternoon is a chill day. Come out, have a good time, have a conversation, learn something, share something, and let's just help each other evolve.
All right.
So what you have to register.
So, okay, so you have to register.
Seats are limited, so you could go to the Aduhlting page on Facebook or Instagram page. Click the registration link. I don't know what the count is right now, but I know spaces is limited now. So you have to register to come. Please register. And to have a good time on October 6th.
All right, so finally, we guys can connect in person, network, and engage in great conversation.
All the ladies who've been DMing us and asking when they go get a chance.
This is your chance.
This is your opportunity.
All right, so it's Aduhlting Live, where you can connect, collaborate, and celebrate. Sunday, October 6th. It's happening at Motor World Showroom in Cold Bay. So come on out. It starts from 4 p.m. And like Elvis and Christian and Verse mentioned, they're going to have cocktails and gourmet snacks available. Dress code is Urban Chic, and it's free entrance. However, you do have to register. So head on over to the Aduhlting Facebook page. That's ADUHLTING, and then there's a link where you can click. It's an Eventbrite link. You just click, you register. It's free.
With your email,
and then you're good to go.
Good to go.
All right. So like you said, that on that day, you besides doing like a live version of the podcast, you'll be having different games, interactive games. You're gonna have like a little panel discussion.
Have a little bar too.
Yeah.
So you could come out, get cocktails, mocktails, water.
All right. And I'll be there as well. I'll be your host, your moderator for that evening as well. So it's going to be fun.
Yes, definitely. Hopefully.
Going to have a lot of fun. And like you said, even though this podcast is a way for men to basically, talk about their feelings and talk about their vulnerabilities and talk about their life experiences, this is also a great opportunity for women to come and be a part of this conversation.
It ain't just about men being vulnerable. The space is open to women as well. But for right now, we're keeping it just men, just so we could be able to get that out of the way. The men say what they got to say, because once the ladies
start to talk, we ain't got no chance.
You shut down unless you're a man like Christian that like to debate and that type of thing. So All
right. So it's going down October 6th. Make sure you check it out. Spaces are limited, so head on over to the Facebook page right now, and you can register to be a part of this wonderful event happening at Motor World Showroom from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Dress code is Urban Chic. So that's next week, Sunday, October 6th. It is going down. Cocktails and gourmet snacks will be available. All right.
But super. Go ahead.
No, I want to let them know that the cocktails and food on sale.
Yeah, so you're getting a welcome
cocktail,
and then you have the bar and everything.
Okay, then you pay for your drink and your snacks after that.
Yeah.
I know.
So for the snacks especially, once you register on the Eventbrite, you can get a follow-up email asking whether or not you would want, or if you're interested in getting snacks.
Okay.
So it's important to
register
and reply to the emails. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
For the drinks, it open. You could do your thing, but for the snacks, we need a show account of what's going on.
And the welcome cocktails are gender specific.
Yes,
so
sir.
There's going to be a cocktail for females and a cocktail for males.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So come on out and check it out.
Yeah. So before we go super, I got a question for you. I know you usually have your daily question.
Yeah.
Because I was waiting on the QOD.
I got a question for you.
It's coming.
I got a question for you and Spoon, if Spoon feel like doing it.
Go ahead.
What is the biggest compromise you've made in your adult life, and was it worth it?
Wow, the biggest compromise. Yeah.
He a Virgo, he ain't compromise none.
I mean, compromise doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. But
correct.
I mean, it's just a big decision that you had to make to, the compromise that I made, I would say, actually, I was just having a conversation about this yesterday, and basically moving in with somebody. As a Virgo, as a guy, I love my space, and I love living on my own. Now, in the past, they would, the girlfriends or whatever would come over to stay a weekend, and then you go, all right. Bye. This one wasn't living; they was living off island. They come back,
weekend, they last long.
Spend some time. All right, gone. But then when I had to make that decision, okay, we're actually moving in together, and she's gonna be here as long as we're together.
Yeah.
4 years later, still there.
Still there.
So that was a big compromise. That was something that I had to really go through and be like, okay, I'm living with someone else. I can't leave just the socks on the floor like how I'm accustomed to, and pick it up when I feel like, because there's someone else in the house. They have their behaviors, I have my behaviors. How are we gonna, live together in one space where everyone could still feel comfortable and be themselves, but still respect what the other person, wishes. So that I would say that was probably one of my compromises that I had to make. Yeah. Spoon.
I think I share the same feeling as Super, to be under the same roof with somebody. But also for me, a compromise I had to make for myself in life was moving out. Okay, you're home, you're with mommy, daddy all the time. You got all this money because you don't got to take care of nothing.
True.
And then you have to go to that decision of, gone, done with you. Okay, yo.
Yeah, so bills on your own, rent on your own, all that stuff. Yeah.
And the second part of the question was it worth it?
I mean, like I said, 4 years we're still together. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are the type of topics we just tackle. We tackle, let me try to speak proper, not we does. We tackle at Aduhlting. And yeah, so thought-provoking questions.
Okay.
And just stuff to get you to, think differently. You may not be always able to answer on the spot. That's me. But for sure, it can give you something to think about.
All right.
And then when you could answer yourself, you get yourself the answer.
There you go. All right. So make sure you check it out. Aduhlting, the live event happening October 6th over there at the Motor World Showroom in Cold Bay, starting from 4 p.m. Don't forget to register, and cocktails and gourmet snacks will be available and on sale. You will get a welcome drink, however. Dress code is urban chic, so come out and have some fun. Yes. And let's learn on how to adult on that day.
Yes.
All right?
Check out the episodes on YouTube, Facebook, leave comments and opinions, suggestions.
Like, subscribe, do all that stuff.
You could ask questions that you want us to talk about next time and all that.
All right. Well, guys, it's great to have you here. Now, my question of the day, which is not as thought-provoking as that, but if you could receive a call on your birthday from a famous celebrity or a character, it doesn't have to be a real person or a character, who would you like it to be?
Wow.
To give you a call.
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Christian wants Jay-Z to call. Elvis?
Bye. I want Jesus, God.
Jesus. Somebody said that earlier, and we were like,
you sure you want to call?
Yeah, man. Like, just.
Do you want him call to wish you happy birthday? He calling to tell you bye.
Come home.
I'm coming for you in a few days.
I mean,
coming to pick you up.
At the end of the day,
around
when
Colby
I
Hill.
say yes or no, I gotta go.
True.
So
I mean, we understand that, but it's a different feeling knowing.
Jesus on the telephone. Verse.
Boy.
Dead or alive, I forgot to mention that too.
That's a tough one, eh? I think it would be 50 Cent though.
50?
Yeah.
50.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's today's question.
So nobody
I feel like he didn't know after he said
Nobody want Diddy Khaled.
Who?
Nobody want Diddy Khaled.
Nah. It's good.
We don't need the baby.
Here's a collect call from
Color black.
here's a collect call from Sean. Are you willing to accept the charges?
Nope, I'm good. Guys, good to have you here, and I'll see you
Thanks
on
for having
Sunday,
us, man.
October 6th for Adulting event. Come on out and be a part of this. We can connect, collaborate, and celebrate. Let's take a break. When we come back, more action on the Super Duper Morning Show, so stay tuned.
This is PJD5 Laser